You're at the leasing desk, pen in your hand, ready to sign. The apartment is fine, not great, fine. 600 square feet, a window facing a parking lot, rent you already ran the math on 3 times, just to be sure. The woman behind the desk is friendly, has been the whole time. She slides the application over. You fill it in. She smiles, and she says the line, "Let me just run your credit." She turns the monitor toward herself, types, and you watch her face do the thing. The smile doesn't drop. It flattens, goes polite, goes closed, like a door shut soft so it won't make a sound. She doesn't say no. They never say no. Saying no is a liability. What they do instead is quieter. First month, last month, double deposit, up front, before the keys. $4,100 to move into a $600 apartment. You didn't say a word about who you are. Not one. You didn't have to. A number said it for you. And it said it before you sat down. 410. Level 1. 410. At 410, you don't have a credit problem. You have a credibility problem. And the world already decided which one it is. Watch what 410 costs you. Not once a year. In a normal week. Your car breaks. You can't cover it. So you walk into a payday lender because they don't run the number the way everyone else does. They don't care about your score. They care that you're desperate. And desperation has a price. $300. Due in 2 weeks. The fee works out to 390% a year. You know it's a trap. You do the math and it still doesn't make sense. You sign anyway. The alternative is not getting to work. And not getting to work is how 410 becomes 390. Checking account? They steer you to the one with the monthly fee. The free one has a screening you won't pass. Phone on a plan? Deposit. Utilities in your name? Deposit. Apartment? Double. See the pattern yet? Every door has a toll. And the toll is highest for the people who can least afford it. The system charges you extra for being broke, then turns around and points at the extra as proof you're a risk. And here's the part that gets under your skin. Nobody is cruel. The leasing agent was kind. The teller was kind. They weren't even looking at you when the answer came. They were looking at a screen. The soft pull ran before you finished your sentence. The verdict was loaded before you opened your mouth. You're not a person to this system. Not yet. You're a probability, a number that says how likely you are to cost them money, dressed up in a chair, holding a pen. They don't hate you at 410. Hate would take effort. They just ran the math on you. And the math said, keep the door mostly shut. You're not being judged. You're being priced. And the price of being you, right now, is everything. Up front. Level 2, 550. 140 points up. It took 18 months. Every bill on time. Every due date circled. And almost nothing about your life feels different. But the door cracked. You qualify for a card now. Sort of. It's secured. You hand them 300 of your own dollars. They let you borrow it back. And they call that a privilege. Sit with that. Your cash. Held as collateral. So you can prove you deserve access to your own cash. You buy a car. Approved. 21%. A $14,000 car quietly becomes $19,000 over the life of the loan. $5,000, vanishing into a rate. Nobody says it out loud. It's just the number that appears when the finance manager turns the monitor toward you. That monitor. Again. Same gesture. Every counter. Every desk. They type. They read. They turn the screen to show you the number they've decided you get. And you take it. Because 21% with a car beats 0% with no car. This is the trap of the bottom middle. You did everything right, and the reward for doing everything right is being allowed to pay more, slower, for things that already cost you more. At 410, they wouldn't lend to you at all. At 550, they'll lend eagerly, not because they trust you, because now you're the most profitable customer they've got. High rate, likely to pay, likely to carry a balance for years. You stopped being a risk they avoid. You became a risk they farm. They're not letting you in. They're metering you in. And the meter runs fast. Level 3, 660, the border. This is where you cross out of subprime into what the industry politely calls fair. Strange word for it. Because this is exactly where the system learns to smile at you while it charges you for the doubt. You get a real card now. Approved. 24%. A $95 annual fee. A limit that's real, if modest, better than secured, still engineered to profit off a single slip. Then you go for a mortgage, and here the number stops being an inconvenience. It becomes a sentence, measured in decades, approved. Conditionally, 7.6%, plus private mortgage insurance, because your number says you might default, so you pay every single month for a policy that protects the lender, not you. On a $300,000 home, the gap between your rate and a clean rate isn't a rounding error. Over 30 years, it's a second down payment, one you'll never see. Handed over in slices. Monthly, quiet, automatic. The same screen that showed a finance manager 21% 2 years ago now shows a loan officer 7.6. The screen still decides. You still wait for the face to change. And it does change here. There's a nod now, a little warmth, a handshake that means it. The same institution that demanded everything up front at 410 will slide you a pen and call you a homeowner. It just made sure the pen was expensive first. At 660, you're not a risk anymore. You're a maybe. And they have learned, down to the decimal, exactly how to charge a maybe. Level 4, 750. Something shifts, and you feel it before you can name it. The tone changes. The pauses shorten. People start saying yes before you've finished asking. The offers come to you now. You don't chase them. Rewards, cash back, 0% for 18 months. Your limit gets raised without a single request. A letter arriving to inform you you've been trusted with more, as if trust were a gift. It's not. It's a calculation that finally tilted your way. You refinance the mortgage, 6.4%. The mortgage insurance falls off. That one line hands you back a few $100s a month you were quietly bleeding at 660, and nobody calls to apologize for the years you overpaid. The screen just shows a better number now, and everyone acts like it always would have. Same monitor, same turn toward you. But the hand doing the turning is eager now, because at 750 you have options. You could walk. You could take your business down the street, and they know it, so they compete. The same lender who metered you in at 550, who charged you extra at 410 for the crime of being broke, now mails you a pre-approval you never asked for, your name printed on the envelope, your name in the system before you called. You didn't become a better person between 660 and 750. Not wiser, not kinder, not more honest. You got cheaper to lend to. That's all. And the world can smell cheap to lend to from a mile off. At 750, you stop being sold to. You start being courted. Level 5, 850. The top. The number almost nobody reaches. And here's the secret nobody tells you. Up here, the number stops mattering, because you've already won the only game it was ever keeping score of. At 850, nobody turns a monitor towards you with a held breath. They don't run your credit to decide if. They run it to decide how fast they can get to. Yes, the rates you're offered are the best that exist, and they barely register. A great rate on money you don't urgently need is a rounding error on a life that already has room in it. That's the quiet joke of the top. The cheapest money goes to the people who need it least. You get the card with the weight to it, metal, heavy in the hand. A concierge line where a human answers on the first ring and uses your name. Fees waived, not negotiated, waived before you ask. Because asking would be beneath the relationship they're trying to build with you. Now remember the leasing agent. The double deposit, $4,100 up front for a $600 apartment. At 850, a landlord waives the deposit to get you to sign. Same rope, opposite pull. The person who once made you prove you wouldn't cost them now makes concessions to keep you. And you are the same human being who stood at that desk with a pen and a flinch. Nothing about your soul moved 300 points. Not one thing about who you were changed. The world just found out you were safe to trust. And the second it did, it changed its whole face. At 850, you don't ask for access. Access asks for you. So go back to the beginning. The leasing desk. The pen in your hand. 600 square feet. A window facing a parking lot. The agent is friendly. She slides the application over, and she says the line, "Let me just run your credit." Only now you know exactly what's happening in that half second while she types. She isn't learning who you are. She can't. There is no field on that screen for honest, no column for kind, no box to check for never once took a thing that wasn't yours. The number can't hold any of it. It was never built to. It holds one thing: how much your trust is worth to lend against, how profitable your promises are, That's the whole question the three digits answer. The only question the system was ever asking. It didn't respect you more at 850. It didn't hate you at 410. It did the exact same thing at every level. It looked at the number next to your name, and it priced you. The score never measured who you are. It measured what you're worth to someone who wants to be paid back. And the day you understand that is the day the screen stops being a mirror, because it was never showing you yourself. It was only ever showing them their odds.